Intense rain, there was flash flooding. It's destroyed parts of the island. And officials have been telling us there are entire communities on the island's southwest end that are underwater. We're really just beginning to see some videos emerge of all the damage there. There are many homes that have been turned into piles of rubble. Other buildings still standing are completely flooded.
River flooding triggered by rain from the hurricane is blamed for at least 25 deaths in Haiti. And there's news today about our climate.
I'm Vicki Barker in London. A major study on the health impact of global warming links toxic air pollution, wildfires, and the spread of such once rare diseases as dengue fever to a failure to tackle global heat, resulting, the researchers say, in a death toll that's now reached an average of one person a minute around the world.
It's day 29 of the government shutdown and a familiar refrain of blame delivered by House Speaker Mike Johnson.
This is not the Republicans. This fault is squarely on the shoulders of the Democrats, and they're the ones causing you the pain, and don't ever let them forget it. Thank you.
The White House has fired all 6 members of the federal agency that was expected to review some of President Trump's construction projects, including the big ballroom. CBS's Natalie Brand.
From what we've gathered, all the members who had been recently fired were appointed during the Biden administration. We do have a statement from the White House on the firing saying, in part, we are preparing to appoint a new slate of members to the commission that are more aligned with President Trump's, quote, America First policies.
Overseas, Russia says it's conducted a successful test of a new atomic-powered and nuclear-capable underwater drone, boasting the weapon cannot be intercepted. Comes just days after a test of a new nuclear-powered cruise missile. CBS's Jim Ursula now on One Choice for Word of the Year.
You might be tired of hearing
6-7!
Now, Dictionary.com has chosen 6-7 as its 2025 Word of the Year. It's an ambiguous slang term made popular by Gen Alpha on social media and in schools and in friends groups across the country. It's become so pervasive and perhaps bothersome that some schools are now banning it.
The AI chip maker NVIDIA became the world's first $5 trillion company today. And on Wall Street, the Dow is up 215 points. The S&P is up 10. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Caught on tape, a man torching a family's Halloween decorations. But first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. On the I-90 bridge, a crash is blocking the right 2 lanes and the off-ramp of eastbound I-90 at Island Crest Way. There's at least a 3-mile backup now. And travel time Seattle to Bellevue is 1 hour. This is also affecting your drive northbound on I-5. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle, 84 minutes. A crash is westbound State Route 18 fully blocked at the Tiger Mountain Summit. Traffic brought to you by AAA. AAA Washington membership unlocks epic roadside rescues, hundreds of local perks and discounts, travel and insurance expertise, and more.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
I don't know if I stay in Seattle or if I move to find another job.
Just one of 14,000 Amazon workers who are being laid off as of January 26th. At least 2,303 of those employees are in Washington state, and KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports.
Those who worked at Amazon aren't the only ones frustrated.
I really wish they'd stop doing this, because it is like, oh, it's going up, oh, back down.
So are neighboring businesses outside the Amazon spheres.
But we have such a customer base here that it would be pretty hard to rebuild elsewhere.
As those laid off search for new work.
No word from Amazon on whether it'll announce more layoffs. Peace Health says it's laying off 241 workers in Washington state, citing federal cuts and changes in health care. The nonprofit employs more than 16,000 in our state. A West Seattle family is cleaning up after a man torched their Halloween display. The flames coming dangerously close to their house. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomi-Bao reports.
Becca and Chris Sandy woke up to find their Halloween display burnt and charred on Tuesday. Their surveillance video captured it all. A man setting 2 fires using their decorations as fuel.
Then he kicked this coffin down and dragged the Bob Ross skeleton into it, set Bob Ross on fire.
Nick Haskell tells me he rushed out to confront the suspect.
Hey,
as he ran after him. Other neighbors jumped in to put out the fires.
A Seattle police sting operation leads to the arrest of a dozen people accused of stealing from the Lowe's store on Rainier Avenue South. Detectives say they teamed up with store security earlier this week to catch the thieves in the act. Cops recovered stolen merchandise they believe was going to be sold for drugs. A warning if you're hoping to help the victims of Hurricane Melissa, which made landfall in Cuba today. Consumer advocate Herb Weisbaum warns crooks are hoping to fool you out of your money, and he tells KIRO 7 TV.
Scammers are so sophisticated now that they're actually using AI to create images of victims from a storm and asking you to donate to help them out when these pictures were completely generated by AI.
He says stay away from requests made on social media or by text. He says go out and contact legitimate organizations yourself. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the mid-70s. It's 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday, October 29th. Halloween is coming up on Friday. Are you scared? Just Halloween is not my favorite. If you're new to the show, thank you for being here. And if you always come to the show, thank you for coming back. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. Just a reminder, too, we fall back an hour this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like between Halloween and the end of daylight saving time, I am kind of out of sorts right now.
Favorite time of the year? Favorite time of the year, minus the Halloween. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
But this is we coming up on the best time. November, December, best holiday of the year is Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I got a question. When did a basic sandwich or a bowl of chicken teriyaki turn into a $20 commitment? Coming up at 9:47, we're going to take a bite into how lunch got so expensive and whether we've all just stopped fighting back. Our KIRO News Radio text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
All right, Ursula, top stories of the day brought to you by Bathfitter Northwest.
Our state is taking the federal government to court and taking matters into its own hands as millions of Americans face the loss of food assistance during this ongoing government shutdown. The state has now joined more than 24 others and Washington, D.C. in suing the Trump administration over SNAP benefits, which you know by now help low-income families buy their groceries. About 900,000 Washingtonians rely on that aid. That's about 1 in 10 residents. The Democrats want to compel the Agriculture Department to use $5 billion in emergency money to help with food assistance. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins doesn't think that she can legally use that money.
We have said all along that $5 billion in contingency, we don't believe we have the legal authority to distribute that. We're trying to follow the law here. We've used Band-Aid and duct tape all along this whole last month. And as we've said, it's not going to be there on November 1st. It's time to open the government.
Meanwhile, Governor Bob Ferguson says he's not waiting for Washington, D.C. to act. He is now directing $2.2 million a week to local food banks to help families who will be losing their benefits starting November 1st. Food banks, as we've been telling you, are already overwhelmed, and state officials are warning of very long lines and empty shelves if this government shutdown drags on.
Yeah, I hope a miracle happens between now and Saturday. Well, obviously, you only have really 2 business days after today, Thursday and Friday. I'm going to go ahead and go glass half full and believe that something will happen. First, I want to just shout out the governor of the state of Washington. This is why it's the beauty of living here in this state. Love what he's doing with the $2.2 million per week going towards that for support for food banks and for those that are in need. By the way, if there are any places out there that right now, because I know that there's places that have been really gathering money and doing things for people in the community. If you're doing that, please let us know here, 888-973-5476. But Ursula, I do, for some reason in my heart, I've been saying this for the last couple of days, I truly, truly believe that something's going to happen. I hope I'm right. I just feel that way because we have never, since a lot of you have been alive, been in a situation where food assistance was not there.
And I hope you're right, and I am normally a half glass full kind of gal, but I want to give a reality check because even when the government reopens and SNAP benefits start coming out again, they may not be what they once were, because the big beautiful bill includes nearly $270 billion in cuts to SNAP between 2025 and 2034. And the yearly federal SNAP spending is around $100 million per year. So if the Senate is able to pass the bill as written, federal funds for the program would be cut by about 25%. I also looked into where does this government shutdown rank in terms of length? Because we're in, day 29?
It's number 2.
So this is close to the longest that we've gone. And we have yet to see any sort of movement or any sort of urgency to try to end it. And the longest government shutdown happened during the first Trump administration. If you don't recall, that one lasted 35 days and was essentially over the president's demand for nearly $6 billion in funding for that border wall between Mexico and the U.S. Now, just a reminder to everybody, the direct cost to our economy at that time was at least $11 billion.
Yeah. Whew. Before we move on, I just want to comment on something when it comes to the SNAP discussion and conversation. I put it on Facebook yesterday. Yesterday was probably one of my worst days in a long time, and it still continues because there is sheer ignorance and hate that is centered around the conversation of food assistance. Adam in the Mount Lake Terrace just texted in and said, why are 1 in 10 on food assistance? How many are undocumented? And so these questions and these things, again, there's so much ignorance and hate that is around food assistance. You might see on social media, well, there's 46 million people that are not working and purposely staying on food assistance. Again, there's a lot of ignorance around that. I don't have enough time to dispel all of the myths that are going on. I'll just leave it at this topic right here. If you are able to go and purchase food for you and your family, that is awesome. That is great. But please don't try and judge other people in their situations. You have no idea. And oh, by the way, if you find out that someone on food assistance gets a steak and gets a lobster, just want you to know that it is okay sometime if somebody struggling financially gets a really good meal. That's okay too. So I just wanted to get that out there because the ignorance and hate around food assistance has me so disappointed. And it's almost like I don't know if we're ever going to come back from this because this conversation, and people just say it boldly online. Like, you could be this wrong. I saw someone say, I was doing research the last couple days on the SNAP stuff, and I found out that there was just so much fraud. If you saw so much research and there was so much fraud, why didn't you post the link?
Mm-hmm. What I would like to do is invite people who are currently on SNAP. If you are listening right now, share your story with us. Text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I want to point out, and we mentioned it yesterday, and I don't think we emphasized it enough, that at some point in our lives, you, Chef, and I have all had to take food stamps. When I didn't know I was eligible for it, and it was during my college years when I was trying to work 3 different jobs, pay for my college, pay for my rent. I just didn't have much for food. And I did it for a few months, and I will tell you that I felt so much shame about it. And shame on me for feeling shame about it, but I was made to feel like, oh my God, why are you on food stamps?
I want to fact check some folks. Jason in Port Orchard, Adam in Mount Lake Terrace. Undocumented immigrants are not eligible for SNAP.
No.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know if you had anything else that you wanted to say about that, but please share your stories. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. It is already one of the most stressful jobs. Now imagine being an air traffic controller and not getting a paycheck. That is the reality right now as the federal government shutdown stretches through its fourth week. At SeaTac Airport, Mark Roush with the National Air Traffic Controllers Association says some controllers are pulling 6-day weeks and 10-hour shifts, all while worrying about how to cover rent or buy groceries.
How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to pay for gas to go to work where I'm going to get a $0 paycheck?
Their union is urging Congress to act, pointing to real safety concerns. Need to point out that the FAA has seen a 25% increase in runway incursions over the past decade.
I think the message is simple. It's just end the shutdown now. We can't expect people that do an honest day's work not get an honest day's pay.
You know, I'm getting ready to get on a flight right now here pretty soon. And I was thinking about the whole flight thing and just picture this when somebody says, hey, go have a safe flight, safe travels to you. Just think about that for a second. I am about to get on a plane here pretty soon, and I'm going to be on a plane that is monitored by amazing people who are not getting paid. Like their focus is you, me, making sure that you're in the sky and that you're going to be okay, making sure that they are locked in and they have to show up continually every day. Now, there will be some individuals that cannot go to work because after school care out there, because you might have to stay home because the other person may be in your family, like they got to go to work and you got to be able to be there because you guys don't have the money to pay that out-of-pocket money right there. This is like, my question would be like this. If they're going to continue to fight, at what point does one side concede? Do you keep going? You guys keep going? How long y'all want to go?
You know what would be great is if we actually had mature adults who were all committed to trying to come up with a solution instead of digging deeper into each of their camps. And bottom line, yeah, air traffic controllers should not be going unpaid. The benefits shouldn't be drying up. I mean, this is just ridiculous that we're talking about this. I will point out, because I was like, is there anybody trying to come up with some kind of solution? Anyone who can step in as a mediator? And apparently there is a small group of moderate Republicans and centrist Democrats. They are called the Problem Solvers Caucus. I didn't realize that Representative Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez there in Southwest Washington is among those that have been quietly trying to broker a deal, but they're trying to get a short-term funding bill so that workers get paid while these bigger fights continue. And unfortunately, they don't have a whole lot of leverage.
No.
It's more important for people to feel like they win and their camp wins versus actually trying to come up with a solution.
Since we've been doing this show, I have been trying to do my best to explain how bad the systems have been in this country. So when we have talked about, or I have talked about systemic racism, right, in the past, whether it's in healthcare or in real estate or in education or the criminal justice system, I would tell you that sometimes it doesn't matter about people's opinions, it's about the system. Well, let me bring this one topic up before we move on. The system right now is designed for the people that are arguing about this. So if they come together and they have lunch to talk about how this is going to go out, or have lunch to negotiate and have these conversations, just remember, they continue to get paid. The system has them getting paid while the system has air traffic controllers not getting paid. So the next time you all say, gee, why are you always talking about the system? Because the system is literally designed to destroy and pee on the working class. While the people, the adults in the room, both sides, will continue to get the paychecks. Their kids
those are not
will
adults.
continue.
Those are not adults in the room.
Well, I mean, what?
Yeah, no.
What are they?
They're selfish people who don't give a rat's you-know-what about those who are truly suffering. That's why I'm saying we need actual adults in the room who are committed to coming up with a solution. And right now we see nobody.
Well, and this is why my point on Friday, and continues to be, sometimes you have to lose for the greater good. And I don't know, like if I'm a Democrat right now, if I'm in there big, I'm in there, I'm saying, look, this is too much. Yes, the health care go up, but sometimes you got to let people find out about that topic. But right now, this is not looking good for any of them.
Okay, I want to also just say thank you to all of you who are sending in your stories. Please continue. If you are currently on Snap, share what you can of your story, because we want to dispel some of the myths that surround food assistance. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. The ripple effects from Amazon's layoffs, unfortunately, are also being felt across our region. 14,000 people, as we reported yesterday, mostly corporate and tech employees, have now lost their jobs, and the number could climb to 30,000.
I see the email that I was impacted by the layoffs. I don't know what happens now. Just kind of in disbelief.
That Amazon employee telling KIRO 7 TV she just moved here for that job 6 months ago.
I'm the only one out here. Was just starting to form a community, but I don't know if I stay in Seattle or if I move to find another job.
And while those pink slips just went out this week, the economic aftershocks are coming quickly, G. Real estate analysts say we could start seeing more homes hit the market now as laid-off workers rethink their mortgages or just move. And it's not just the housing, of course. Restaurants, small businesses, even rideshare drivers who depend on Amazon's weekday workforce are bracing for a slowdown.
You know, Ursula, there have been times that, I've been accused of hating billionaires or hating CEOs. No, I don't hate them. What I don't like is how the system is set up. And what I mean by that is let me explain this system. It's simple. This announcement, Ursula, about 14,000 that you're talking about right now, just one announcement has so many people in our community right now, in the Amazon community, wondering, man, do I have a place to belong? These are the very people that built this thing, right? So the people that built this thing are no longer needed anymore. Right? It doesn't matter what our laws are. You want to tax the rich? They will put it on the working class and make us pay for it. You want to not tax them and say, hey, we're not going to tax you so you can get the money. Will you give it to your people? They'll keep that. We're less than 7 days away from finding out that Amazon and Meta and all these big corporations are giving money to the ballroom. Hey, Ursula, they didn't even wait. They didn't even waste no time. They didn't even say, hey, you know what? It might not look good if we cut people right now. Nope. Let's at least wait till the new year. And then somebody might say, well, gee, you don't understand. They don't make the money. Watch this. When Ursula gets ready to tell you guys the profit from the third and fourth quarters here coming up in January, you tell me they care about the people. So the next time y'all mad at me for going off on these CEOs and these big companies, remember this day.
My heart goes out to them. On Reddit, there was one senior engineer who said, I thought I was a top performer, but I guess I'm expendable. For so many people, they say they didn't even get notified. They just got locked out of their laptops in the middle of the day. I mean, there's just got to be a better way of telling people. And yesterday, I was at the bank, and this is an example of how a company like Amazon announcing layoffs like that. I was at the bank yesterday, and the banker who was working with me was asking me, because she knows what I do for a living. She was like, she was asking, how long do you think the shutdown's going to last? And what do you think, is going to happen with these other companies? I mean, these are all different things going on in the economy. And then she said, she told me, she says, I have a feeling that my own days are numbered, that I think there are going to be lots of layoffs in banks. I mean, we're talking about AI, just all these different things changing everything too. It's like a lot of people are very nervous.
And exactly. And you're right, Ursula. This is why I get so upset when the message to people that are hurting, and the message is to pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. This is why when there's help and some assistance and relief here, where will the people say, where will the money come from? That's why. Coming up at 9:47, $20 lunches? Ooh, that's something. Hey, coming up next at 9:33, we're going to talk about a very inhumane way a woman was detained by ICE. Next, Gee Ursula.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO Newsradio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I got to tell you something, Nick. I have really noticed a difference in your energy level since you started going to the Longevity Medical Clinic.
And you know why?
Why?
Because they actually balanced my hormone levels. And when they do that, the largest change I noticed was that now I could sleep.
And then not only get more sleep, they just get more energy, right?
Right. So that all of a sudden that resulted in me, I started running again and doing all these things that I felt so fatigued throughout the day that I couldn't do anymore.
Okay, so at this point, do you want to apologize to me? Because I was always saying to you, every time you'd say, I don't sleep, I don't feel well, I feel kind of off, I'd go, well, you need to get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. And you're always like, blah, 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 blah.
I know. But now it's turned into something fun that we get to go in together.
So I need to hear, you were right.
You were right.
You were right. I should have gone to Longevity Medical Clinic.
I should have.
There we go. Fine.
Yes.
You know the right thing to do. Get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. Take the free health analysis at lmclinic.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here. Who's got family coming to town this holiday season? I know I do. My parents will be staying at my house for a few days over Thanksgiving. And obviously, you want to make sure your home is prepared. You want to present a warm environment. And that starts with a well-heated, properly insulated home. Make sure your insulation is ready for that challenge this year by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come to your house, just like they did at mine, do a free corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and your attic. If your home has damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, get it fixed before the cold weather really shows up. If you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%. But you got to act now because many of these rebates are ending at the end of the year, including federal incentives. Call Crawl Pros. They're the crawl space space experts and learn what's going on behind that crawl space and add a catch for free. Then see what energy rebates you're eligible for. Go to crawlpros.com.
Hey, it's Brock Heward. My family did it, and it saved us thousands. You got to do it. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It's free. See how much First Mark can save you and how much better coverage you can get. They work for you. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills, backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Hey, football fans, Steve Rabel here. You know what makes Washington State truly special? It's the people, the everyday champions who serve, care, and connect. This fall, your local credit union, WSECU, is proud to celebrate 4 of these inspiring individuals as part of Washington's Community Champions. Serving Washington since 1957, WSECU is the only credit union named a Forbes Best Credit Union 5 years in a row. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your hero today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. People are hunkered down in Cuba, where Hurricane Melissa has come ashore as a Category 3 storm and is becoming weaker. Melissa was a Cat 5 when it slammed into Jamaica yesterday. Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
There's scarcely any building or infrastructure that would escape without some form of damage.
Western Washington's Jamaican community is reaching out to loved ones. More from KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss.
Hurricane Melissa prompting Chris Hinton to close down his food truck in Everett for the day as he tried to get updates from his family back home in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Is everybody okay?
So far, I spoke with them earlier this morning. They were crying and the internet just went out. So I don't even know what's going on right now at this moment.
Others in the local Jamaican community are on edge as they get updates on the widespread destruction.
Federal SNAP food benefits are set to run out this weekend as the federal government shutdown drags on.
I think that's really sad and really scary for people. The middle class, the working class, we need help, we need support, and we need our Congress to be there for us.
More than 900,000 residents depend on SNAP. Now, Washington Governor Bob Ferguson says the state will send $2.2 million each week to food banks. They expect to see a surge in people seeking help. Air traffic controllers just received their first paycheck with nothing in it due to the shutdown. Mark Roush with the Controllers Union telling travelers at SeaTac Airport.
We can't expect people that do an honest day's work not get an honest day's pay.
He says it should not be political when the safety of air travelers is at stake. Boeing appears to have stopped bleeding cash for the first time in a long time. Boeing reported $23 billion in revenue for the quarter, a 30% increase over last year. But it took a net loss of over $5 billion, caused in part by 777X delays. In just a few hours, we should hear from the Federal Reserve on whether it will cut interest rates. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
A small cut, it could nudge down borrowing costs on things like credit cards, auto loans, adjustable rate mortgages. It won't offer major relief for most, though.
Analysts will be listening for hints about whether more cuts are coming. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 273 points, NASDAQ ahead 129. KIRO News Radio traffic. The crash has finally been cleared from the I-90 bridge eastbound on Mercer Island. Travel time Seattle to Bellevue is still running more than half an hour. This is also affecting your drive northbound on I-5. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle 72 minutes, about 20 longer than usual. And a crash has westbound State Route 18 fully blocked up at Tiger Mountain Summit. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial at 97.3 HD2. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the mid-70s. It's 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Just a reminder that Coming up at 9:47, we're going to talk about how lunch got so expensive and how we need to stop normalizing $20 sandwiches. I mean, it's almost like starting at $20. But right now we want to talk about what happened to a woman in Gresham, Oregon. A 23-year-old woman says she was detained by ICE agents for hours, all because she took pictures of what she believed were their unmarked vehicles in a Chick-fil-A parking lot.
So I took pictures of the plates and I parked so I can put it on that group and let them know what plates they were. I didn't think it was a crime at all.
Now, that woman, who is not being named because she wants to remain safe, told King 5's sister station that she snapped the photos after seeing a Facebook post warning that federal immigration agents might be in the area. And she says the agents followed her and boxed her in at a stoplight.
So I'm being followed. They surrounded the car, pointed guns at me, and telling me to get out of the car. I was on the phone with my fiance, so I was really scared. I was really scared that maybe they were impersonating or like getting kidnapped or not seeing my family again. So I took pictures of the plates and I parked so I can put it on that group and let them know what plates they were. I didn't think it was a crime at all.
She ended up being handcuffed. She was taken to the ICE building in Portland and kept in a cell for about 7 hours.
They changed my legs up and they put me in a cell for 7 hours. They wanted to ask me questions and I refused to answer any questions because I was really scared and I didn't trust them.
Now, she ended up getting fingerprinted. They swabbed her cheek for DNA, and when she asked to call an attorney, she was told that the landlines weren't working. Eventually, she was released, but ICE kept her phone, saying they would try to get a warrant to search it.
They opened my cell, and they told me I'm lucky for now, and that I will be released for now, and that they would keep my phone for evidence, and they're gonna try to get a warrant to go through my phone. It's very inhumane. I don't think it's right, and it's just not right.
Now, according to the ACLU, people do have the right to photograph or record law enforcement in public as long as they're not interfering. ICE is not responding to media requests for comment about this particular incident. But this is something I'm seeing more and more, Gee, where people are saying they are trying to stop things that they worry about or overreach or whatever it is. And I don't know if I feel comfortable with that.
It reminds me of back in the day, Ursula. It reminds me of the stop and frisk. You guys remember that? You guys remember the stop and frisk where you can just get stopped for no apparent reason? Actually, there are people still to this day that would love to continue that. Now, this is a U.S. citizen that is detained for 7 hours, right? Phone taken away, U.S. citizen. First, before I continue, what am I considered if I think this is wrong? Am I a liberal or a conservative? I just want to put that out there. I'll answer later. If they are doing this to citizens, what do you think they're doing to someone that's undocumented? This is what has made the United States the best country in the world, because before there used to be due process and the right things will be done, even though you have committed a crime. If you go back to South Carolina, what was his name? Dylan Roof, that killed the people in the church. When he killed the people in the church, 9 people inside of a church, due process happened for Dylan Roof. They took him. I think he went and got Burger King, right? But the right thing was done. They didn't go and do the wrong thing. You cannot celebrate or say, I voted for the wrong thing happening.
And a point well said. I guess what I was mentioning is I am seeing more and more people say, I am confronting this and I'm confronting that. And on the one hand, I say that's bravery and that's great. On the other hand, I also worry about their safety. You know, and remember what was it John Urquhart, former King County Sheriff John Urquhart told us, like, if you were to see something like this happening and you're not sure, should you call police?
Right.
And remember what he said?
I don't. Not right offhand.
Yeah, I mean, basically, he said yes, but again, in a case like this, she's taking pictures of what she thought were their unmarked vehicles in a Chick-fil-A, and then it turns into all this.
Right. Yeah, it's sick, and the reason why, and I didn't mean to trigger anyone when I ask about the liberal or conservative, but I'm just trying to point out on what has the majority of us fighting about things, making things political. This is not political. We're not arguing about taxes increase or levies or anything. We are talking about human decency. We're talking about a United States citizen detained for 7 hours. I think we could all agree it doesn't matter what your politics are. This here is crazy overreach, and this is not the United States of America.
Yeah, speaking about another law enforcement officer, Rob, our longtime friend, retired Puyallup police officer, he says, arrested for taking photos of their cars. I've always been under the impression it was constitutionally protected behavior. This should be a slam dunk lawsuit for a clear violation of her rights.
It is legal to do that. And it's not just this lady. ProPublica have found earlier this month at least 170, and there have been more since, U.S. citizens have been held and detained by immigration agents. One of them was held for 3 days without a phone or attorney. They were kicked. Some have been beaten, dragged. A 79-year-old man was held for 12 hours after being tackled and injured by agents. This is an egregious violation of the Constitution and of our civil rights.
You know what?
It is.
I just got an idea. I think before I weigh in on the topic from here on out, I think I'm going to ask, which side is this on? Because the majority of what we're talking about isn't sides. It really isn't. It's either yes to human decency or no to human decency. Speaking of decency, $20 for lunch? Is that what we're doing around here? A lot of y'all going to lunch, having $20? Or if you're like me, you have another plan for these lunches. We'll talk about it next. Gee Ursula.
The John Curley Show.
And the reason I love autumn the most, and I guess that's why I love to grow pumpkins,
Weekdays 3 to 7.
is because it's nature telling you summer is over and soon it will be dark and it will be cold and there will be no light. And just before, nature says, here's a prize for you because we know you're going to go into hibernation. So here's orange and yellow and fiery colors everywhere. So this is our final gift to you.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Halloween, unfortunately, is one of the highest days for DUI nationally. So if you or someone you know, maybe a friend or a loved one, is involved in an incident coming home after a game or during the holiday weekend, Halloween, you are not alone. Reach out to DUI Heroes and speak to Jonathan and his team. They are DUI defense specialists handling cases all over the state of Washington. 1-800-DUI-HERO or DUIHeroes.com. DUI Heroes, your DUI defense specialist.
Your time is money, so why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Announcing the Royal Corgis.
What have you done?
I wired pounds to London to buy Royal Corgis.
You went to the bank to wire money for Royal Corgis?
That means yes.
You are so dumb. Banks are slow and they hide all kinds of fees in transfers.
Those mutts.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. It's faster and never hides fees. Oh, they're fighting, just like the real royal family.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300, 206-656-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every Quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to all of you. Hey, coming up at 10 o'clock, this is very important. Seriously, because, there's an election that's happening right now. Before you mail in your ballots inside of the mailbox, you have to listen to our discussion that we have at 10 o'clock. Yep,
It's an exclusive.
You heard that right. Before you put your ballot in the mailbox, you must listen at 10 o'clock. Also, the Seattle Seahawks season is approaching the halfway point, and we want to send one of you and 3 of your friends. That's right. You and 3 friends will get a chance to go watch the Seattle Seahawks game on November 9th. All you need to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text app to 888-973-5476. That number is 888-973-5476. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, November 3rd. Okay, we do need to talk. You ever stop mid-bite while you eating that ham sandwich and say, wait, when did lunch become a luxury item? A new survey says Americans are spending more than $100 a week. That's right, just for lunch. That's up from more than $20 from last year. The average tab right now is about $108.68, and a lot of people are skipping lunch once a week so I can save that bread. So they can save that money. Now, I love a good sandwich, but when a turkey club runs $18 and a burrito costs $25 with delivery fees, it's no longer lunch, it's an investment. Now, I can keep going and explain, but you get what I'm saying. So my question to you listening right now, are you someone that spends about $100 a week when it comes to lunch? Do you spend more? Do you spend less? Why? Let us know, 888-973-5476. Now, Ursula, a lot of people say G likes to be fancy, he likes to spend things. This is an interesting topic because still to this day, I do not buy lunch out. I am at home. Back in the day, when you go to McDonald's, now somebody knows this saying. When you'd ask your mom or your dad for McDonald's, and your mom and dad would say, we got McDonald's at home. That's a popular thing that used to be said in the car. I'm still that way.
Yeah.
I can do McDonald's at home.
You know why you're lucky?
Huh.
Well, you like to cook, but you also have a wife who is excellent in her cooking skills.
She don't make me lunch, though.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay. So, yeah, and like I said, you also, and you have a very, very picky, specific diet that you do.
Yep.
Unfortunately, for folks like me, I'm still paying these prices.
Okay.
Because, A, I'm not as good of a cook.
Okay.
But let's just say, whether it's me or anyone else, I always bring up teriyaki only because it's one of my favorite meals. And I just remember when I used to be able to go down the street at East Lake Teriyaki and the lunch special was $5.99. Imagine what it would be like to be able to get a lunch special of any kind for $5.99 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Someone just texted in and said, I went to Denny's. Denny's used to be cheap.
Mm-hmm. Moon over Miami.
Moon over Miami. Yeah, exactly. Wasn't that closer to $5 at one point in time? Well, he said he got his breakfast or a breakfast for his wife and it was like $29 or something close to that. The other day, I bought food. I ordered food from Din Tai Fung. I was going to have it delivered because I was feeling lousy. Remember, I was not feeling well. And looked at the delivery fees. Well, it wasn't just the delivery fees. It was an extra, the service charge, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And it added another $25 to my order.
Come on.
And the whole thing, there's just me and my husband. And I was mostly buying just for me.
Yeah.
So I could have something for a couple of days. And it was $70. Yep. Okay, and I get it. Din Tai Fung's not. But let's just say, even a trip to McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Now I'm using the app all the time.
Right.
Remember there was a time when I didn't even bother with the app?
Yeah.
Okay, if I go to McDonald's, it's going to be use the app because it's not a deal anymore.
Right. Well, ain't no deal no more. Ain't no value meal. Hey, Nick, let me tell you something, man. Watch this. Listen, bro. Look, this is true.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you could get a jumbo jack with cheese for 99 cents.
I believe it, yeah.
Matter of fact, in the mid-'90s, life was so good in the mid-'90s, you could get a Whopper with cheese for 99 cents.
I mean, don't you remember the $5 footlong? I mean, how long ago was that?
Shout out, Jared.
Now it's like 89, 10,
Maybe
11.
we don't need to shout out, Jared. That wasn't good.
And it wasn't always a foot long.
You brought up delivery, so I have to point out something because we never talk about this. Part of the reason why your food is so dang expensive is because of all the people who can afford to DoorDash all the time.
Yes.
Those companies, DoorDash takes up to 30% of what you pay for the menu item at that restaurant. So if the restaurant has to cough up 30% of their delivery prices to that company, do you think that affects what you might pay when you order? Of course it does.
Mm-hmm.
No. Listen. I get it. It makes sense. Lunch is going up right now. Speaking of that, just some of these numbers that I did research. That's right. I decided to research something before going on to the show. But right now, you got meat. The price of meat is up 20%. produce is up 41%. So, yes, everything is going up. Remember, it's been the last 10 months of 2025 of straight winning because you were told that your cost and everything was going to go down. So much winning is happening in this year of 2025.
Liz in Gig Harbor says, you remember that Burger King sandwiches, 99 cents? She says that was a thing a few years ago. Like, what was that?
Or the dollar menu from McDonald's. Now it's like the $3-4 menu.
$3.67 menu.
Hey, Nick, no lie. The dollar menu saved me. Like that my kids, that's what that dinner was. The 99-cent double cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
It was the high school treat back in the day.
Yeah. All right. You have to stick around for this next segment. Let me say this again. The election is coming up. So before you take your ballot that is probably filled out or probably waiting for you on your kitchen table or on your counter inside of your house, you need to wait before you put that into the mailbox. We'll explain that next. Gee and Ursula.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Jim Singletary here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we're not afraid to tell you no. Looking for a roofing company that'll do cheap, fast work and just cover up the problem? No, that's not us. Want a quick quote without a real inspection? Nope. Just want a price without knowing your options? Not happening. Look, we don't want to tell you no, but if saying yes means cut corners, bad results, or wasted money, we won't do it. Period. And here's the deal. Seattle gets 150 rainy days a year. That's not wait and see weather, it's call RoofSmart now weather. We say no to leaky roofs, sloppy work, and bad estimates, and yes to thorough inspections, accurate quotes, and top quality work that actually lasts. So if you want an honest roofer who's not afraid to say no to bad work, call RoofSmart today at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250. Say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
This week at Jazz Alley, Elvin Bishop's Big Fun Trio joins forces with Grammy-winning bluesman Cedric Burnside for 4 nights of down-home, high-energy blues. Shows run Thursday through Sunday. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. A long cleanup is getting underway in Jamaica. Rebuilding and drying out. There's widespread damage from Hurricane Melissa. CBS's Michael Wallace.
The group American Friends of Jamaica has already raised $1 million. President Wendy Hart hopes to raise another $1 million.
That will go to immediate relief efforts and rebuilding efforts.
The Jamaica Independence Foundation is collecting donations. CEO J. Lexi Brooks.
So we're hoping to target single mothers with children who are displaced.
Greg Martin and his group Disaster Relief at Work will fly in donated supplies.
Someone after a storm might say, man, I need one thing. And then they get a kit of 17 items and they're like, actually, I need it all.
In Haiti, at least 25 deaths are now blamed on the storm after heavy rain flooded a coastal river. In Washington, we'll hear shortly from Federal Reserve policymakers as they wrap up a 2-day meeting.
We are expecting the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates again. Investors are pricing in over 95% chance.
CBS's Kelly O'Grady says a quarter-point drop is likely. A federal trial over whether President Trump can deploy the National Guard to Portland, Oregon is getting underway. Local police officials are expected to testify that federal agents at Portland's ICE building have inflamed protests in recent weeks. It's day 29 of the government shutdown.
House Speaker Mike Johnson points at struggling unpaid air traffic controllers and tens of millions on the brink of losing federal food benefits, and says
Democrats are still out trying to convince you that this is somehow Republicans' fault.
But Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the president is withholding money for the food program.
The money is there.
And this Texas resident says people need support.
We need help.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
TSA workers among the federal employees that are not getting paid, and in Chicago, they're getting help from soup kitchens. CBS News Chicago reporter Tara Molina.
They make sure you're safe traveling through our airports, but it's a job TSA agents in Chicago are officially doing without any pay now, due to the government shutdown. But Elgin's Holy Trinity Soup Kitchen is making sure those workers are fed today.
The struggling that's going on, we just want to give back.
One less worry on their minds.
Overseas, a Paris prosecutor says 2 suspects in custody in the Louvre jewel heist have partially admitted participation in that theft. And Brazilian police say the death toll in a major police raid on a suspected drug gang in Rio has risen to 119. Wall Street's right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 237. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
Another measles case where you might have been exposed. The story coming up at first. KIRO Newsradio traffic. The crash has been cleared from the I-90 bridge eastbound on Mercer Island. Still a little congestion over the island right now. Travel time Seattle to Bellevue still running about 5 minutes slower than typical. This also affected your drive northbound on I-5. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle is running about 20 minutes longer than usual. A crash is blocking a lane on the 520 bridge westbound just before you get into Seattle. A jam up right in the area there. And a crash is westbound State Route 18 still fully blocked at Tiger Mountain Summit. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Amazon workers who are being laid off are wondering what's next. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke with stunned workers.
It's one thing to hear about it.
And our team was talking about it.
It's another.
And I see the email that I was impacted by the layoffs.
To go through it.
I don't know what happens now. Just kind of in disbelief.
She was one of the 14,000 company-wide layoffs at Amazon. And she tells me what stings the most about it. She just moved here 6 months ago for the job.
Peace Health says it's laying off 241 workers in Washington state. The nonprofit is citing federal cuts and changes in health care. Police are searching for the man caught on surveillance video setting fire to a family's Halloween decorations in West Seattle. Becca and Chris Sandy tell KIRO 7 TV what they saw.
Then he kicked this coffin down and dragged the Bob Ross skeleton into it, set Bob Ross on fire, and then began grabbing the little skeleton animals and throwing them in there as well.
Neighbors helped put out the fire. Police say a woman experiencing a mental health crisis ran a red light on Aurora Avenue North at North 130th Street, sideswiped a car, and hit a van. Video we've posted at mynorthwest.com shows that van flipping onto its side. Police say she crashed into 3 more vehicles before stopping. She was cited, but she was not arrested. Well, as we've been reporting, Hurricane Melissa is now over Cuba after pounding into Jamaica as a Category 5 storm. You might want to help folks there, but consumer advocate Herb Weisbaum tells us scammers are trying to take advantage of that. He tells KIRO 7 TV.
Steer clear of requests you get from social media, text messages, any things like that. You have to proactively go out and give to the charities you want to give your money to. There are simply too many frauds on social media that you can't trust the information you're getting or where the link might take you to, even though it looks like it's a legitimate link.
There's a new measles case in King County. Health officials say the patient may have contracted the virus during a flight with someone who was infected. That patient visited several sites, exposing people potentially to measles in Kent and Renton before realizing they were infected. We've listed those locations at mynorthwest.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine with highs in the mid-70s. It's 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday, October 29th. If you're new to the show, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And if you're always here every single day, love you for being here as well.
I always have to add one more category.
Okay.
If you are here and you said you weren't going to listen to the show anymore, and then you come back and then tell us once again you're not going to listen to the show anymore, I appreciate you checking in.
Oh, gosh. We just had a few of those. We just had a few of those.
I just got to remind you that when you say that or wish for us to not be here, we have seen these messages since our existence.
The crazy let me just tell you, full transparency. When you guys says, I'm never leaving again, I'll listen to you again, or goodbye. Now, you understand, like, the way our text thing is set up?
We see it.
We see the entire history. We got one dude that said he was never listening again in 2023. Bruh, we get it.
But again, I want to make sure you know
you keep coming
that
back.
when you keep giving us chances, I appreciate that.
I don't think I've ever invited, hey, I'm never listening again, and then come back 2 weeks later. I'm never watching the NFL again.
You know, when you get so exasperated.
You know what?
I get it.
Oh, thank you.
I get it.
I needed this laugh.
I get it. I get it. Okay, if you want to send us a message like that or any other message, please don't. Text us. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Sometimes with the history of text messages, like Jolene in the 206, I was just reading her message today, and then I looked a couple up from where she was, and she had shared a beautiful story about being there at the end of life for several of her family members. So I just responded to that. So having that history is really beautiful, too.
Jolene likes Tina Turner.
Okay, I love her already.
She texted that in 2023. Like I said, all of your stuff is here, guys.
I know. Anyway, well, this is a new hour.
Yeah.
So new opportunity to share your thoughts on any of our segments.
Yeah.
Again, that number, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. But we have an exclusive, and we need to get to it right now.
What's new at 10?
Okay, who of you has not filled out your election ballot yet?
All right,
Raise your hand.
I talked to
we're
him.
all
It's
raising our
ready
hands.
Saturday. It's ready for me on Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday. What's
so
that?
I was planning to do it as well, and I was planning to mail it in. But we have some very important information from the Secretary of State's office. They're saying that you do not want to mail in your mail-in ballot. You want to vote, but bring it to a drop box. Yes. So we initially saw this story in the Spokesman Review, and we didn't want to put it out there because we're just a couple of days away from the election. We wanted to make sure this was not Spokane specific. But yes, the Secretary of State's office has released a statement to our show saying that if you put your ballot in your mailbox within 1 week of the election, which we're there, they cannot guarantee that your ballot is going to be postmarked by the deadline, which means that your ballot will not be counted. Now, if you turned it in last week and you're one of those great ones that gets it done early, they will be counted, okay? Because, again, what they're saying is, okay, I'm just going to read the statement verbatim.
Okay.
They say, we encourage voters planning to return their ballot by mail to consider using a drop box, going to a voting center or county auditor's office, or to physically visit a post office within 7 days of the November 4th general election. And the U.S. Postal Service is issuing similar guidance. So I asked, and we tried to get Secretary of State Steve Hobbs onto the show because I was asking Chef, I said, I want to know, like, what changed this year? It used to be you can get it in and get it postmarked.
Right.
But they're saying given the operational and logistical priorities recently set by USPS, we cannot guarantee that ballots return through the mail during that time frame. So within a week of the election, which is next Tuesday, we cannot guarantee that it will be postmarked by the deadline. So they're saying we're fortunate to have an 18-day voting period and have developed the infrastructure to have several convenient ballot return options available to voters, blah, blah, blah. But again, they say at this point, so if you're like all of us here in the studio and you have not voted yet,
Right.
either go to the post office to make sure that it is postmarked or drop it off at a ballot box.
Oh. To find this out between like 6, 7, days away from the election, that's crazy to find this out. And first, I got to tell you, for the last couple years, I have gone right to the drop box lately. For some reason, it has just felt better for me to go right to the drop box.
Yeah.
It's like, it reminds me of
control.
like, yeah, it's just better. Like, I don't know if you guys ever get into a disagreement with your significant other. Do you ever do that over text message or do you do that face to face?
You want to do it face to face.
That's how I am with the vote.
Yeah, but you know what you're doing too is you're giving people more credence when they say, well, I don't trust mail-in balloting anyway, and I want to go back to going to the voting booth. Which
ain't nobody got time for that.
But there are people who are still fighting for that.
Every year.
Here's the thing. This is new guidance from USPS, so we just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. Paul into 253 says, yeah, would have been good to know earlier in the week. You're telling us, yeah. Jerry in the 206 says, postmaster caused problems and people have not been counted in recent years. I can't verify that. But again, we are getting this advice. We confirmed it with the Secretary of State's office. So if you're like us and you still have to fill out your ballot, make sure that it is counted by either going to the post office or dropping it off at a ballot box.
I want to stress because the integrity of our elections is very important.
Yes.
USPS says they will get 99% plus in. They believe that's according to the 2020 election numbers. But the fact that this is a problem at all, and this is the first any of us have ever heard about this, and we're in the news every single day, is ridiculous. And if this is going to be a problem moving forward,
yes,
the messaging just needs to be, put it in a drop box.
Exactly.
Period. And
Just
stop
forget
calling
about-
it mail-in ballots. Start calling them drop box ballots.
Yes. Agree with that. The other thing that I would just beg of you, as you see that ballot on your kitchen table, or you threw it in a drawer, or you now have to look for it because you really haven't paid attention, or you don't think your vote counts.
Right.
I beg of you to think differently. I beg of you to exercise your right to vote.
Yeah.
I really
Agree.
do. I don't care how you vote. Don't sit it out.
Right.
Too many people sat it out last time around.
Yep.
Too many people give up that right that not everyone has to vote. So I beg of you to do that.
Like I said, Ursula, for some reason, I'd say last 6-7 times, I have been dropping it off right there.
Yeah, good for you. Okay. Last hour, we talked about SNAP benefits, potentially basically being shut down or dropped as of November 1st.
Mhm.
And this could affect millions of people, close to 1 million people here in Washington alone. And I asked because you said you were so disgusted by the ignorance and the hate surrounding food benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked everybody who is on SNAP right now, please share your story so we can actually share actual stories of people who are on SNAP.
Yeah.
And many of you did. And I was hoping that you and I could share some of their stories.
Oh.
So Chelsea in Shelton says, I am a mom of a 2-year-old and an 8-month-old, and I work full time, and I still rely on SNAP and, more importantly, WIC. While these benefits don't cover all of our food and formula costs completely, they do allow me to make sure that my kids are fed and that I am able to pay my rent every month. This stigma that every person on SNAP doesn't work and spends money on junk food is just not true, and more importantly, not even the majority. The majority of the food that I buy for my kids is fruit, vegetables, and meat. Not having my benefits this month, I'm going to be paying over $500 just on formula, not including food. I am scared, and I'm unsure on how I'm going to make this happen.
Wow.
Another one, 208 says, my husband and I spent about 6 years using SNAP benefits to feed our family and Medicaid to meet the health care needs for our children. Those were some of the most difficult years of our marriage. I learned a new meaning of the Great Depression. We moved to Washington for a government job that changed our financial situation. We used the last of our benefits to fill our cupboards after our move. We have been contributing to the tax base that funds these programs ever since. We haven't been paid since October 1st, and there is significant concern about funding for programs that assist people in these situations. This is concerning at best and lethal at its worst.
509 texts in and says, I'm a registered nurse in greater Seattle area, and when I was in my early 20s, married to a Marine, I had to go to the food bank and apply for food assistance while my husband was away. Our housing food allowance was so minimal. If there were any out-of-budget expenses, I would have to go without. It's shameful how little we support the families of the men and women in our armed forces. I can't imagine how these government employees living paycheck to paycheck are making it through this. It infuriates me that Congress is still getting paid. Wake up, America. And I just want to say thank you to that texter 509. I really appreciate it because, and just these texts in general, and here's what it's doing for me. For us to be able to tell these stories, it's like we had somebody here yesterday that actually said that the majority of a lot of people that are on SNAP are obese. I mean, to even put that out there is awful when we all know that in the United States in general, right, we have been talking about obesity.
Yeah, that's like close to 40%.
But I just, the reason why I have had such a bad, I would say, 24-ish hours is because of the awfulness and the ignorance that I'm seeing centered around this topic. So it is, thank you all for being vulnerable. And I know you can read more, Ursula, but thank you all so far that are being vulnerable and that are sharing these stories because these myths that are out there. And you know what? I'll say this. Do I understand why some are hateful and why some are ignorant about this topic? Actually, I do. in the 80s, Ronald Reagan gave you the welfare queen story. For so many years, you saw on the front page, when you saw a picture of someone receiving food benefits, you know what the picture looked like. You know who that person looked like. So for so many years, it has been that propaganda has been going through. So while I don't like it and it disappoints me, I understand why you feel that way. But the people that are texting in right now, or when I talk about this, and I can tell you in real time that in 2012, when I was on food assistance, nobody would have called me lazy. I was working every single day, working really hard.
Yep. I was working 3 jobs.
Did I make the best decisions? Oh, I'm sorry. I bought my kids Pop-Tarts for breakfast because it made the food stretch. They ate a lot of Kraft box macaroni and cheese, so I apologize if I didn't make the whole healthy meals like you talked about. As a matter of fact, it was cheaper to get fruit roll-ups than fruit.
Mm-hmm. You know, I actually work here in part because of food stamps. I have this job now because we were on food stamps while I was an intern over at the sports side, 710 Sports. I was going to college, studying, so I could only do basically the equivalent of what was like DoorDash back then. Gabby was in grad school and working for AmeriCorps, making $10,000 a year, and we got by for a little while with the help of food stamps. And like, if I hadn't had the ability to buy food, you think I would have been able to take that unpaid internship?
Right. Exactly.
I wouldn't be here today without that.
Well, and again, I want to just thank everybody for sharing their stories. And do we think that there is abuse of the system? I'll speak for myself. Yes, there is abuse of the system, but to act like that is the majority is just irresponsible and sad and infuriating. But in tough times like these, we need more compassion. And I want to point out that there are some people and some areas that are stepping up. Kim in the 425 says, I'm planning to donate money to my local food bank, and I will donate to any food drives that I see. I have been poor and I've been hungry in the past. Food is not a luxury. I'm fortunate to not have those worries now, and will always help and support. In Kitsap County, of the 80,000 federal workers in the state of Washington, more than 20,000 call Kitsap County home. And right now, as we know, none of them are getting paid. So at 303 Coffee Company in Bremerton, the owner, Lexi Shea, told KIRO 7 that she's going to be offering free coffee to federal workers just trying to get through the day. And she is not alone. Ryan Etwell from Mission Outdoors says they're helping provide commissary gift cards to help military families make ends meet. And I love hearing those stories.
Yeah, I do too. I just want to say that because I can't leave this SNAP conversation because I want to talk about the fraud. Right? Because that comes up fast, right? Like, well, what about the fraud? And I know someone who sold their food stamps, or I know this one person who's not getting married. They're not getting married because they want to keep getting the SNAP benefits. Full stop right now. Could you imagine if I told Lillian, hey, listen, we can't get married because I have to continue getting SNAP benefits? Do you think someone's winning in life if they don't get married because they need to still get food assistance? Think about that for a second. That's number one. Number two, the next thing I want to talk about is when a police officer rescues a cat out of the tree, and they do great, and we talk about how great this thing that the police officer did. As we are rewarding and talking about how great that is the next sentence, but you know there's bad police officers, right? Do you know that? No, we would not do that. You, Ursula, would tell that story, and we would talk about how great that is. And the last point that I want to make, when you're talking about fraud, you do know that it's very hard to commit this widespread fraud that people keep talking about. It is SNAP, meaning the money goes right to the card, meaning 99% of the time, the money allocated for the month, guess what? It gets spent for the month. So I just wanted to address the fraud conversation. Thank you, Ursula. I needed that segment. That really helped me out, helped my spirits out, and thank you all for sharing. Coming up next, we do a segment called You Be the Judge. We do that next. Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I love this guy. Paulie Sweet Smell Fabrizi.
Weekdays noon to 3.
Shut up. It's a real name. I swear to you. His last name's Fabrizi.
You like Febreze?
I don't like fake smells.
The problem that I have with it, now that I have babies, and babies are constantly like putting their face all over everything, just you might as well just go spray your baby.
And you know how kids get on couches when they're little? Face first.
That's right.
They plant their face, use that as a pivot point.
Kids stink all the time. So if anybody could use Febreze, it'd be a kid because they smell so bad.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Do you know someone whose everyday actions make Washington stronger? Someone whose care, service, and connection lift us all. They're Washington's community champions, and WSECU wants to celebrate them this fall. Steve Rabel here. WSECU has been serving Washington since 1957, and they're the only credit union named Forbes' Best Credit Union 5 years running. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your Washington Community Champion today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So you and I have talked before about the folks who think they can do this themselves. And again, I imagine there are a lot of people who are saying, well, new administration, fewer staff members, now I truly can get it done.
Really, in this situation, I do feel really bad for the taxpayer because here you're getting a notice. You call the IRS, you're going to be on hold for 45 minutes to an hour. And so getting through is going to be more difficult. And when you do get through, you're going to be talking to people that are not as well trained as they have been in the past.
Which makes it even easier for them to take advantage, even if it's not intended, against the person who owes taxes.
I've heard it said that they just will make up something because they want to respond to the taxpayer. And people are going to get some really bad information and they're not going to know.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
You've been wiring pounds to a second wife in London.
It's not what it looks like.
And here she is now.
Sure it isn't.
Hello, darling.
Elizabeth.
Did you know our husband used a bank instead of Wise to send you money?
What an imbecile.
Well,
See, even your secret wife knows that banks are slow and hide fees in overseas transfers.
those cheaters.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. They're faster and they don't hide fees.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
This week at Jazz Alley, Elvin Bishop's Big Fun Trio joins forces with Grammy-winning bluesman Cedric Burnside for 4 nights of down-home, high-energy blues. Shows run Thursday through Sunday. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Out at the Wilcox family farm, our hens roam freely on fresh green pasture. But that means predators like coyotes and eagles are always nearby. That's where our team of Great Pyrenees help out. These gentle giants were born to protect, and they become a part of our family. Raised alongside the chickens from puppyhood. Our hens are raised humanely, our practices are organic, and our promise is simple. Fresh eggs straight from our farm to your table. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
It was horrendous. It was horrible. The sounds were terrible. That's probably the worst part of it.
A woman in Jamaica where wind gusts topped 200 miles an hour. Hurricane Melissa made landfall as a Category 5 storm yesterday before reaching Cuba today as a Cat 3. CBS's Jason Allen says residents of Jamaica are starting to check out the damage.
It's going to be devastation, and I really don't think that we have realized the full impact of it yet. We're not going to get a better sense of that until the day goes on today.
Members of Western Washington's Jamaican community are rallying to help. Carlene Comrie, who owns Taste of Caribbean in Seattle, tells KIRO 7 TV.
We're planning to organize a fundraiser and using the restaurant as the point. We'll also use the restaurant for any drop-offs and working with the shipping companies that are in Seattle to get goods into the island.
Churches and cultural groups are also preparing to offer support. SNAP food benefits will run out of funding this weekend as the federal government shutdown continues.
I'm a former federal employee, and I've been through several shutdowns and missed my paycheck. I think it's horrible what's going on.
It doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican. They all should be able to work together to keep the government open without people losing their jobs or their benefits.
Governor Bob Ferguson says Washington State will send $2.2 million each week to food banks, which expect to see a surge in people seeking help. Air traffic controllers just received their paycheck with nothing in it due to that shutdown. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more from SeaTac Airport.
Air traffic controllers here in Seattle are spending the day handing out informational pamphlets. They say they want the flying public informed about what's going on with the shutdown and the potential consequences, particularly among air traffic controllers who may be distracted. National Air Traffic Controller Association Vice President Mark Roush.
How am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to pay for gas to go to work where I'm going to get a $0 paycheck?
James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A lot of eyes on the Federal Reserve today. CBS's Kelly O'Grady explains.
The Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates by 1/4 point. Now, it would be the second cut this year and bring the benchmark rate down to the lowest level since 2022.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 137 points. NASDAQ ahead 112. KIRO News Radio traffic. Crews are working to clear that crash involving a semi-truck on State Route 18 at the Tiger Mountain Summit. Expect intermittent full westbound closures until they get that wreck out of there. The I-90 bridge is cleared out nicely after an earlier crash, and your travel times are improving. Everett to Seattle, 28 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 43. Renton to Bellevue, 36. Traffic brought to you by AAA. AAA Washington membership unlocks epic roadside rescues, hundreds of local perks and discounts, travel and insurance expertise, and more. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the mid-50s. It is 53 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Love text messages like this from Dennis in the 206 who says, the last segment encapsulates why I have been a day one listener to the Gee and Ursula Show. I wish the whole world listened to this show. Thank you so much. If you want to text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Now, right now, though, it's time for...
Hold it. What did you say during the morning meeting? You can strike that from the record. You can strike that from the record. You got to go on what I said today.
Okay. We're going to lighten it up a little bit. CEOs right now are losing their minds over employees who text during meetings. We know nothing about that, by the way. The Wall Street Journal says bosses are now hiding Wi-Fi passwords. They're threatening fines and even setting up phone jars, you know, like those swear jars where you pay every time you pull out your device. In his annual letter to investors, JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon wrote, "This has to stop. It is disrespectful. It wastes time." And he went on even further by saying, if you have an iPad in front of me and it looks like you're reading your email or getting notifications, I will tell you to close that damn thing. That was a quote. Mm-hmm. A billionaire CEO writes that phone use makes meetings boring. That's the reason. Full of deathly, dull, and passive
That ain't what's making it boring, but go ahead. Continue.
Brad Jacobs of QXO writes, quote, chairs might as well be filled with human-shaped cardboard cutouts.
Yeah.
What do you think, G?
Well, first of all,
you be the judge.
Yeah, I'm going to be the judge. While I understand what Jamie Dimon is saying, truth is most of these dang meetings could be an email. That's number one. Number two, most of these meetings are absolutely boring. The reason why they're boring is because a lot of people that are running these meetings did not learn how to run meetings. True. And just so you all know, there are books that you can read right now in 2025 to help you facilitate a meeting better, right? So this is the reason why you have people that are yawning, people that are rolling their eyes. You have about 6-7 people inside of your meeting, and all of them are on their phones. Why? Because your meetings suck, dude. That's why.
Yeah, maybe the question for you should be, what is it that I am doing that makes people want to dive into their phones or, you know, have a dental appointment real quick or whatever it is? Mm-hmm. Why are people checking out of my meetings? And perhaps you need to ask folks for real feedback.
I'll tell you right now.
If you saw that everybody was checking out, why don't you ask, hey guys, give me feedback.
Right.
What would you like? What would be better when we have these meetings? Because these are important. These face-to-faces don't happen often enough. So what would be helpful to you? That would be refreshing.
Wait, but that would mean you have to ask. Like, if you think about it, most managers know everything, right?
No.
And so
wait. What?
No,
most managers know everything?
Most CEOs, they know everything. And so
they
people
think they know everything.
Well, people that know everything never ask anyone for their advice. Like, hey, what do you think? Nobody would ever ask G nothing. Right? Because only time people ask me for
true.
I got people in this room right now in the newsroom, they only ask me about, hey G, so what happened with the Seahawks? I used to have one guy that worked here, he used to only ask me about black stuff. Like, it was only a topic about, hey, I was watching the Soul Trade Awards, or hey, I was looking at BET, or hey, I'm going down to Atlanta. Are there any black places to go eat at? There are people that usually just look at you for only asking you that. To which I say, okay, That's cool. Only ask me about that. Don't ask me about money. Don't ask me about work. Don't ask me about real estate. Don't ask me about none of it, because I don't know nothing. But keep asking me about the damn Seahawks.
You're in a rare mood today.
Or the urban perspective. You forgot that one.
Man, they stole. And
if you're going to be in a bad mood, I'm just going to let you go for it.
If you're new to the show and you haven't heard this story, do you remember when Buddy stole a plane?
Yes.
He stole a plane, and I happened to be
it's the
on
Horizon
air
jet. Yeah.
live at the time. I was on the air. So there was a critique of how we were supposed to be and how we should have handled that moment, and to which that manager at the time had his feet on the desk. Listen, y'all, literally feet on the desk. And he says, so, Gee, next time, yeah, he reminds me of somebody. He was a bad leader, too. Anyway, next time, you got to give us your urban perspective on what happens when a plane is stolen. Bruh, what? Urban perspective?
Did you ask him that, or did you just look at him with an incredulous look?
Well, first of all, you know me. I love money. So I'm going to keep my job first.
Because at this juncture of my life, I'm asking, what exactly do you mean by this urban perspective?
Even right now, I'm not saying nothing because I love my money. At that time, I had very little of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I ain't say nothing. I just looked. And now I get to tell that story forever.
Yeah. Just like my story that I tell forever. In case you are new to the show.
Earth, Wind, and Fire?
No, nothing to do with Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'll tell you about that later. But the time when it was a different management, a different company that owned us, I want to make that very clear. Mm-hmm. And we had our big boss.
You had the Halloween?
No.
Not that? You're not telling that story?
No.
Okay.
No, the big boss coming to me, and when the president of China was in town, and he asked me why I wasn't using my Asian connections to get the president of China on KIRO radio. That was the same guy who asked me, "You're Oriental, right? What are you, Chinese, Japanese?" To which I was like,
Hey, did you keep your mouth shut?
I did, and I'm mad at myself.
That's why you hit 37 years, too.
Ursula,
Today I would not keep my mouth shut.
Right.
I like how you said, I like to have them explain it now.
Yes.
Because the best thing you do when somebody says something racist or tells you like a racist joke or a sexist joke is to say, I don't get it. Can you what do you mean?
Explain that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just watch their face. Oh, no. Oh.
For those of us in the back of the room, can you explain that?
Yeah. Well,
I'm hoping that former market manager is listening and reflects on that stupid question.
Now, since then, you've probably had about, 6, 7 different market managers?
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, this is when we were owned by an entirely different company.
Yeah.
Love our current company.
All right. Good stuff. Hey, coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show, scenarios. Gee Ursula.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Number 45, Kenny Easley, as pure an athlete as has ever played that free safety position. Saw him the very first day of training camp after his first-round draft choice. All of us veterans looked at each other and said, we've got something here, and we sure did.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
All right, here's a quick confession. The reason Nick, my wife, is going to Longevity Medical Clinic is because why?
I got sick of watching you sleep at night when I was awake.
Wait a minute. Here's what would happen. I'd be asleep because I've got my hormones balanced thanks to Longevity Medical Clinic. I'm asleep, and then Nick would go, are you asleep? Are you sleeping? That's not fair. I can't sleep. I'm like, so you're going to wake me up?
Yes, because I didn't want you to have more energy than I would the next day, and I was up all night.
So what did I say to you? I said, so go to the Longevity Medical Clinic. Do the same thing I did. Get your hormones balanced. You'll sleep better, right?
And I did.
Right. You don't have to wake me up anymore and go, it's not fair that you're sleeping.
I know.
But didn't you see that it wasn't fair that you were waking me up?
Yes, because now you're the one taking the dogs out because I'm still asleep in the morning.
So we're both getting good night's sleep. We're both getting lots of energy, and we're happy.
You don't want me to tell you why? Because my hormones are now balanced.
Okay, I don't want to hear about your hormones right now. So be like Nick and get a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next.
And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind and the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It is the Gee Ursula Show. Scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I've been dating an amazing guy. We met at a bar and have been inseparable for about the last 6 or 7 weeks. Then one morning, I got in my car after leaving his apartment, and there was a note on my windshield saying, leave him alone. Oh, shoot.
I feel like deja vu right now.
That was deja vu. I don't know what happened. Wait a minute.
I think it was a different number of weeks, though, last time. Man, you be trolling us all day.
Gee, it's almost Thursday.
And I needed to go. So, hey guys.
Yeah,
just so
you want to
guys
talk about
know-
something else?
Yeah, talk about something else.
Okay, you know how you wear those glasses, or you have those glasses that are smart glasses?
Oh, the Meta glasses.
Yes, exactly. So, did you know that there are 2 investigations from 404 Media that are raising serious concerns about those Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses and how they're being misused? So, for those of you who don't know what these are, and the day when G was wearing them, I did not realize that he was essentially recording me.
Right.
But they're designed with a small LED light that turns on when someone's recording. It is a built-in privacy safeguard. But reporters found a hobbyist selling a $60 modification that disables that light completely. So essentially allows people to film others without them knowing at all. And Meta's system was meant to stop that kind of tampering, but customers are lining up to get it done anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, that's creepy. That is so
That's
creepy.
creepy. Go ahead.
Well, there's another 404 Media report that found men using modified Ray-Ban glasses to secretly record women working in massage parlors and then posting the videos on Instagram and TikTok to millions of viewers, some even making money off those clips on adult sites. Okay, again, well, potentially criminal. And advocates for immigrant and sex work communities are calling this disgusting and dangerous. They say these hidden camera videos expose vulnerable women to harassment, arrest, and even violence, especially when these exact locations of the businesses are shown.
You know how sometimes we have made sweeping statements about what women do and what men do? You notice how your story, you won't hear about too many women using these glasses to look at women, look at men, or look at massage parlors and then even actually sell them online. This is a man thing. That's what, you know what I mean? I'm not saying all men do that, but most of the time it's going to be a man. Number 2, the next thing is this is pretty bad. And I don't think that, 2 things. There's the service that you talked about for $60, being able to alter it and pretend like the light isn't on. I don't like that. 2, they now have the little stickers. They have stickers that you can put on there to cover the light. I don't like that either. I don't want to do that at all. When I turn mine on, I turn them on. And also, I have a rule too. If I do a video, if a review and chef or something like that, I would not post that video of you guys unless you knew that you were being recorded.
So how have you used, since you got those glasses, how have you used them? How often have you used them? Because I don't think of you as a creep, but I think the whole idea is just creepy.
Yeah. So I'll use them. I've used them on the field when I start the game off, the Seahawks games.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
To have.
But what do you do with the video?
It's awesome. It's awesome B-roll.
Okay, so do you do actually use it?
Oh yeah, I'll use it. Yeah.
Okay.
Or when I host events or my auctioneering and things like that, I've done it. But I also make sure that there's been a time that I was auctioneering and it was some people not in a good situation. I think they might have been drinking too much.
And so that never happens at auctions.
Yeah. I didn't let that happen. I don't even bring them to work anymore.
But here, just what you described, you're a decent person and you know that could do some damage. So you are choosing not to do something with that video.
Can I just stop you?
Yeah.
I'm also older now.
Exactly.
I could not imagine. No, I'm being serious, Ursula. I know I'm going to disappoint some of you guys. I could not imagine having these glasses in my 20s. Look, guys, I know I might say certain things. This is today. You guys know G today.
Yeah.
G yesterday with them kind of glasses?
Yeah. You're going to be looking to monetize in any way that you can.
You know what bothers me the most about this is we're already talking about how it's very soon we're not going to know what to believe on the internet. Is this an AI video? Is this an AI voice calling me on the phone? But just imagine the lack of social trust or the loss of social trust that we'll have if you have to think in your mind with anyone wearing glasses are they recording me right now? And it's not just glasses, because the technology is getting so good. You can put a tiny pinhole camera, in the button of your shirt.
I know.
It's like a
almost
creep's
like
paradise right now.
It is. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. All right. What are we doing at 11 o'clock? We got the 11 o'clock hour coming up. We got anything good for the people?
What do you want to talk about, G?
You guys want to talk about the one piece of good news that's coming out of the Amazon layoffs and how it could be maybe a small opportunity for some folks?
Well, the other thing that we need to do is remind people about what we basically broke in terms of news-wise when it comes to the election.
We
cannot emphasize that enough. So
Yes.
if you are someone who has not filled out your ballot, we want to share some important information with you because there is an election in less than a week.
6-7 days away.
Yes. And then the other thing I want to bring up is, have you ever gone to the doctor and felt ashamed by something your doctor has said?
Okay.
We'll have a discussion about that coming up next.
All right. Gee Ursula.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO Newsradio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
One day, the words on the page blur. You hold the menu a little farther away. It's subtle until it's not. At Near and Far Vision Partners, we help you see clearly, near, far, and in between. Expert surgeons, advanced technology, sharper focus for every moment. Schedule your complimentary consultation at nearandfarvision.com or call 425-900-2414. Near and Far Vision Partners in Bothell.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy so we don't miss out on what matters. Like that family movie night your daughter can't live without. Yeah, can't do that. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Gee and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO Newsradio.
You're halfway through a DIY car fix and boom, you're missing a part. It's okay because whatever it is, it's on eBay and it's guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays are for football. That's why we're here to help you get your next DIY project done, even when the clock isn't on your side. Whether that's a new Filtrete filter or Bosch and Cobalt power tools, Lowe's has everything you need to feel like the MVP of DIY. So get it done and earn your Sunday. Shop now, in-store and online. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here.
And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms.
Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years.
That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives.
We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day.
And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us. Clean food, and a family that's been doing it right for generations.
So next time you're at the grocery store,
skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them.
Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Metropolitan Markets, PCC, or Safeway. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The UN says Hurricane Melissa has devastated Jamaica at levels never seen before. CBS's Jason Allen is in one hard-hit area and says the driving is treacherous.
The drive to get to this point has been difficult. You're going around trees. You are going over rocks and culverts and debris that has been thrown up into the roads. Very, very slow going. You can still see, though, a lot of people trying to drive out of this area where the worst of the damage is, and we've also seen a lot of people who are trying to get in to help people who are still stuck in some of these communities near where the storm made landfall.
The hurricane also lashed Haiti and Cuba. The National Hurricane Center's Michael Brennan on where things stand.
Maximum sustained winds near 100 miles per hour, currently centered about 150 miles to the south of the central Bahamas and moving more quickly now to the northeast, now at around 14 miles per hour.
The government shutdown continues with measures hoped to keep SNAP benefits in place. Torian Small reports from Capitol Hill it's unclear how they'll fare because of opposition to piecemeal measures.
We've seen Senator Ron Johnson looking to put forth a bill that would pay federal workers. We saw Senator Chris Van Hollen, a Democrat, also do that. Both failed, but we know that the two are working together to potentially come to some type of resolution for just that aspect. As it relates to a full continuing resolution, there still is, at this point, no resolution on the table.
The Federal Reserve is making its decision on a key interest rate. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
We did get at least one piece of economic data during the shutdown. We got the Consumer Price Index that came out last week, which tells us the inflation rate ticked up to 3%. That is further away from the Fed's 2% goal, but it wasn't as much as they expected.
And this just in, the Fed has cut the interest rate by 1/4 point. Character AI has announced it will ban anyone under 18 from using its chatbots. More from Michael Wallace.
AI chatbots have been suspected in a growing number of child suicides. Cynthia Peralta of Colorado sued Character.ai after her 13-year-old daughter Juliana's death. She found out Juliana had shared her suicidal thoughts with AI characters on the app, some of whom had engaged in sexual conversations with her.
It was no different than her telling the wall or telling the plant that she was going to take her life. There was nobody there to help.
Last month, OpenAI announced new parental controls for its chatbots.
Mexico's president says a naval search for the sole survivor of U.S. strikes on 4 alleged drug smuggling boats has failed. 14 people were killed in those strikes. On Wall Street, stocks are higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A worldwide cloud computing outage. The story coming up, but first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. Crews are working to clear a crash involving a semi-truck on State Route 18 at the Tiger Mountain Summit. Expect intermittent full westbound closures until they get that wreck out of there. The I-90 bridge is cleared up nicely after an earlier crash. Travel times improving. Everett to Seattle, 28 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 43. Renton to Bellevue, 36. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio. Breaking news.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A major outage with Microsoft's Azure Cloud and 365 services is being reported worldwide. This is widely used by major retailers, banks, tech companies, and airlines. Alaska Airlines, for instance, is reporting that its website and online services are being affected. This is a developing story. We will bring you more information as we get it.
I don't know if I stay in Seattle or if I move to find another job.
Just one of 14,000 Amazon workers who are being laid off as of January 26th. At least 2,303 of those employees are in Washington State. And KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports.
Those who worked at Amazon aren't the only ones frustrated.
I really wish they'd stop doing this because it is like, oh, it's going up, back down.
So are neighboring businesses outside the Amazon spheres.
But we have such a customer base here that it would be pretty hard to rebuild elsewhere.
As those laid off search for new work.
No word from Amazon on whether it's going to announce more layoffs. Peace Health says it's laying off 241 workers in Washington state, citing federal cuts and changes in health care. The nonprofit employs more than 16,000 people in our state. A West Seattle family is cleaning up after a man torched their Halloween display, the flames coming dangerously close to their home. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomi-Bao reports.
Becca and Chris Sandy woke up to find their Halloween display burnt and charred on Tuesday. Their surveillance video captured it all. A man setting 2 fires, using their decorations as fuel.
Then he kicked this coffin down and dragged the Bob Ross skeleton into it, set Bob Ross on fire.
Nick Haskell tells me he rushed out to confront the suspect. Hey! As he ran after him, other neighbors jumped in to put out the fires.
A Seattle police sting operation leads to the arrest of a dozen people accused of stealing from the Lowe's store on Rainier Avenue South. Detectives say they teamed up with store security earlier this week to catch the thieves in the act. Cops recovered stolen merchandise they believe was going to be sold for drugs. A warning if you're hoping to help the victims of Hurricane Melissa, which made landfall in Cuba today. Consumer advocate Herb Weisbaum warns crooks are hoping to fool you out of your money. And he tells KIRO 7 TV.
Scammers are so sophisticated now that they're actually using AI to create images of victims from a storm and asking you to donate to help them out, when these pictures were completely generated by AI.
He says stay away from requests made on social media or by text. Go out and contact legitimate organizations yourself. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the mid-50s. It's 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It's the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday, October 29th. And if you're new and you've been here, all y'all, thank you for being here on the show. By the way, I'm checking out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We've got a full hour still to go. Hey, coming up at 11:30, we do agree to disagree. Mm-hmm. Now, a couple of times today, our listeners have heard you mention 6'7". Quite a few times, actually. If you have teens in your house, maybe you know very well that it is a phrase that is used often.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring that up because dictionary.com thinks that's the word of the year. I have a very strong opinion on this
Did any of the listeners notice? Nick, did you notice I kept dropping 6'7"?
Oh, yeah. At least 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Maybe 6'7". I don't know.
Come on.
Okay, well, text us 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, the Seattle Seahawks season. Y'all know it's getting to the halfway point. They're coming off a bye week right now. But guess what? KIRO Radio wants to send you and 3 of your friends to watch the Seattle Seahawks on November 9th right there in Lumen Field. All you need to do is open up the KIRO Newsradio app and click the Win tab to find out how. Now, if you don't already have the app, this is what you need to do. Text app You spell that APP to 888-973-5476, and we'll send you a link right now to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, November 3rd. That's the day before the elections. You know, you got a vote coming up pretty soon. All right, Ursula, what you got?
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Okay, before we get to our top story, just reminder, though, that the Secretary of State's office is telling everybody that if you haven't filled out your ballot and mailed it already, as of yesterday, basically don't mail it in anymore if you want to make sure that it is postmarked by the deadline. Because of some changes this year, they're saying that a better thing to do would be to go directly to the post office with your ballot and make sure that it is postmarked, or drop it off at one of the ballot boxes instead of just sticking it in your mail to go out with the rest of your mail.
Okay.
Okay. And again, I just ask you, this is my ask every time we come up with an election.
Vote.
However you vote. Just vote, please.
Vote.
Please, please, please.
Thank you for the announcement. You're talking about we 6-7 days away. We got to get there.
Oh, you're good. Okay. Well, yesterday was a gut-wrenching day for thousands of Amazon workers, many of them right here in Seattle. They found out that they are out of a job, and they didn't get it from a meeting. They didn't get the news from a meeting or a phone call, but through a 3 a.m. text. Regulator filings show 2,300 of those workers were let go in Seattle and Bellevue. But there may be a kernel of good news, at least for some of you. To that point, the Amazon layoffs are already making waves in the real estate market.
We've been fielding calls left and right since very, very early morning. We haven't seen anything of this magnitude in the last few years.
That is Adriano Torri. He's a real estate broker in Bellevue who spoke with KIRO 7 TV. He says he's fielding calls from Amazon workers considering selling and moving or renting out their home to bring in income. And he says that is actually good news for some people.
These new developments in the job market will make the market, at least for the next few months, more of a buyer's market.
Obviously, though, as this real estate broker Adam Hestad says, a boost for buyers comes at a cost for others.
There are market effects, right, that we're talking about, but I think the thing that I try to remember is it affects individual people along the way. That's the biggest thing. The numbers are one thing, 14,000, but it always comes down to one individual person or family who gets affected by this.
And thank you, Adam, for saying that.
Say this all the time on this show.
We dehumanize it by saying, 14,000. You know how many people? I actually reached out to 3 different people that I know who work at Amazon. Or actually, one of them was my niece whose husband works for Amazon. I was like, is he going to be okay? Because 14,000 may just, come out of our mouths and we're not affected. But if one of them is someone in your family, especially when you hear of these people who say they just moved here 6 months ago,
right?
Don't have any family support here. Well, how would you be? And by the way, for all the bosses listening right now, if you have it within you, and it's something that our industry is horrible about, if you're going to let people go, especially these kind of mass layoffs, is there some way to do it in a more humane way?
We've talked about this on this show before, and we really did. And this is why that when we're talking about, when you say, when people say, you got to make cuts, right? When you make cuts or layoffs or people, these are people, 14,000 people receiving the pink slips or however the message, or would you rather get a text message or rather get Teams? Somebody just texted in right now. I think it was...
no name. We're going to keep it anonymous.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't going to say their name.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not saying their name.
Okay.
They were talking about Peace Health and their layoffs and how these came via 3-minute team calls, right? I think we've talked about this on the show. I think we could all agree that it doesn't really matter how it comes. It's going to hurt. Whether it's a phone call, whether it's a text message, whether you might see it on the news and then you might get the message. Either way, it's going to hurt. But that is what we are dealing with right now. And this system that we're in, Ursula, are people. These are 14,000 people. It was 15,000 people for Microsoft. And when we're making these announcements, and you, Ursula, are doing the news, we're making these on the heel of donations being made. We're making that when Microsoft, and it was talked about 15,000.
All those people who are.
What were we talking about? We were talking about, oh, by the way, in that quarter, they made $25 billion net profit.
Right. And before someone texts in or emails us and says, well, that is just, cost of doing business and AI, and wouldn't you, again, my question is there a better way to do it than the way that you're doing it? I guess that would be the ask that I have of every boss. I will tell you that my management days I knew were over when one of the last people I had to lay off, and it was for cause, but one of the last people I had to lay off or fire, basically. I couldn't stand it. I could not. And this goes against everything they tell you in management, but I was like, I'm not going to let him get his box of stuff, and he didn't have a car because he drove a news car. And I was like, no, I'm going to drive you home.
Oh.
It was one of those things I couldn't. And I mean, I will hire people all day long, and I love that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have to lay off people, and I know those are the tough kind of decisions that you have to make, but when you're doing like 14,000 all at once, some of whom have pulled up all the stakes and moved to an entirely new state, and within 6 months have to be out on the streets, basically.
Yeah.
I just feel like maybe, how would you do it? How about gathering everyone in one room all at the same time so they're all finding out together, and then having resources available for people to, so like what you can do. Here are some resources that you have available. This is what the company is offering. There's just things that you can do to soften the blow. You're right. It's awful no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And I could be way off on this, but I've just always wondered, like, why does it have to be so inhumane?
Here's the thing. Your idea that you just said, I think when we talk about what's the best way, I think when we project that, we actually mean what's the best way for us. And before we leave this topic, I just want to just tell you, like, since I have been doing this job at KIRO Radio, I've always thought that, our business, right? Like, I've always thought and prepared for a time that I could not be here anymore, because that's just the nature. And any days, not just this job, but I think a lot of us listening right now, you might have a job, right? It's not like it used to be.
No, 37 years later, I don't assume that my key card is always going to work.
Right. And just, Ursula, since we're talking about you and being 37 years, I think those days are over.
Oh, I know they are.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody,
Gen
Z is most likely not going to be with a company for 37 years.
No.
So that security blanket, and and this is the new normal that we're in. There's really no loyalty both ways. Now, I'm not just blaming a company, because you have a lot of people that have that get these jobs, and they go from job to job to job, in which I've learned from the youngsters, like, hey, it's the fastest way to get yourself a raise, because most employers won't give you the big raise, but you go from job to job and you find yourself making 25% more than you did 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. And I admire people who have the guts to go from job to job.
Yeah.
I was someone who would rather be loyal and have a company that was loyal to me.
Agree.
So
one more thing, Ursula, that I have been finding out, and we've gotten the messages. I'll tell you the part, because there are people that are saying, well, you need to just go get a job. Just go get a job. Have you been seeing the messages that we've gotten from people talking about how they've been laid off for a few months or 6 months, and they put in 300 folks on LinkedIn putting over 100 applications in? Like, this job market is not that great right now. So I just want people to keep that in mind before you get on social media and just assume that people aren't looking for work.
Yeah, 425 says, didn't Ursula just say it was 14,000 people? Imagine Amazon renting out Climate Pledge Arena to fire all those people. That's hilarious. I'm thinking that you could break it up into smaller groups. I mean, they're all part of different groups. I would rather do it that way than get it a 3 a.m. text message. Okay, I mean, that's my point.
Okay. The day before, it was rumored to be 30,000.
Yes.
We all found out the next day it was 14 because you just brought up smaller groups. My question to you is this. Is it possible that this is smaller groups?
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. The family of a 15-year-old boy who fell to his death at Seattle's Gasworks Park is now suing the city, calling the historic structure a public nuisance. Back in July, Matthias Johnson fell about 50 feet from one of the park's old platforms during an outdoor concert. His family claims that the city knew it was dangerous and failed to act. The attorney representing the family, Karen Kohler, tells King 5 News that the city's inaction shows reckless disregard for public safety. Now, the city has fenced off and posted warnings around the towers, but this is actually the third fatal fall just since 2008. 2 other young adults also died after climbing the same structures. Seattle Parks wanted to remove all climbable surfaces, but the Landmarks Preservation Board voted against that plan earlier this month. They say the ladders and the walkways are historically significant, and they are now considering extra lighting and security cameras instead. What do you think?
Well, these are topics that I don't really like to weigh in on because the family lost their loved one. So first I want to give respect to the family and them losing their loved one. I want to do that first. However, I don't think that there should be a lawsuit. Those structures at Gasworks Park, we all know that. It's no different than being at a playground, right? And there's a sliding, right? You get a slide there that's on top that kids back in the day, they didn't used to have the mats. You should be straight cement under there or swings. Or we all know that these structures are things that you probably should not do. We know that there are bridges out here that you probably should not go and dive off of, right? With respect, again, I want to really handle this the right way.
I'm hearing you emphasize that, yes.
Yeah, but I don't believe that there should be a lawsuit. I think that what we see at Gasworks Park, those are fixed structures. They've been there for a long time, and 99.9% of people understand the dangers that they pose if you climb them.
And I would normally agree. However, I do want to point out, because I was thinking through this, and in full transparency, my youngest son's former roommate, his sister was one of the ones who died. She was a Blanchette student.
One of the 3 that's died?
Yes. So Eric's former roommate, his sister, and Eric described her as a beautiful soul, someone who had so much going for her, and she made a mistake. And if you see that since 2008, 3 young people have died, I guess my question is, how important are those ladders and walkways to have? I go to Gasworks Park. I don't sit there and say, oh, my gosh, we're going to miss it if these things aren't there when you know that it is potentially a nuisance. Just like with the Aurora Bridge and the number of people who jumped. Now, the bridge had been there forever, but people jumping off a bridge, sorry if I'm bringing this up suddenly, but I'm saying you take some precautions to try to deter that. And again, I hear what you're saying when it comes to the lawsuit, and we can't safety-proof everything in life.
So if
I hear you, I'm just trying to.
How about the precedent that would be set?
Mm-hmm.
If you do allow the lawsuit to go through, then that opens a door for a lawsuit to happen on any other structure around here that someone could say, "Hey, that should have not been there."
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. And I think the majority of our listeners who are texting in right now actually agree with you. Okay. I wanted to start on doctors who shame patients, but let's hold that off because we're at the end of our segment here. Let's hold that off to agree to disagree.
Okay. We'll do that next. Gee Ursula.
This
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
Touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Number 54, Bobby Wagner, linebacker, one of the finest of his generation. He set just about every tackling record that can be set. He was the heart and soul of one of the best defenses to ever play in the National Football League.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167, some things have changed, and some things haven't. Using those lanes without a good-to-go account means you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. You'll always pay the lowest toll rate with good-to-go. No change. Carpoolers now need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Does a good-to-go pass still save you $2 on every toll? Definitely not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com. Free Flex Passes while supplies last.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. I'm so excited to have my cousin Amelia with me today. So, how many chickens do you think there are on the farm?
3,000?
What do you think chickens eat?
Grass.
What else?
Seed.
So, do you know what organic eggs are?
The ones that you put in brownies?
Yes, the ones you put in brownies.
We hope you choose fresh eggs from our family farm.
Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh
since 1909.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Guys, it's time to know your numbers and what they mean. And right now, Revive Men's Health is offering a $400 comprehensive wellness panel for just $99. Free if you start treatment. Offer ends November 30th. Book today at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
KIRO News Radio has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks game on Sunday, November 9th. Head to the KIRO Newsradio app. Click the Win tab in the bottom right corner and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the KIRO Newsradio app, the better your odds will be. Do it every day, October 28th through November 3rd. Details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win. From the station where the 12s hear the Hawks, KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A major Microsoft Cloud service outage is affecting access to things like Office 365, Minecraft, and Xbox Live. The company says its Azure front door system is having issues and that it's trying to get it back up and running. This is happening just ahead of Microsoft's earnings release at 2:30 this afternoon. People are hunkered down in Cuba, where Hurricane Melissa has come ashore as a Category 3 storm, and it's becoming weaker. Melissa was a Cat 5 when it slammed into Jamaica yesterday. Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
There's scarcely any building or infrastructure that would escape without some form of damage.
Western Washington's Jamaican community is reaching out to loved ones. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss with more on that.
Hurricane Melissa prompting Chris Hinton to close down his food truck in Everett for the day as he tried to get updates from his family back home in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Is everybody okay?
So far, I spoke with them earlier this morning. They were crying and the internet just went out. So I don't even know what's going on right now at this moment.
Others in the local Jamaican community are on edge as they get updates on the widespread destruction.
Federal SNAP food benefits are set to run out this weekend as the federal government shutdown drags on.
I think that's really sad and really scary for people. The middle class, the working class, we need help, we need support, and we need our Congress to be there for us.
More than 900,000 residents depend on SNAP. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson says the state will send $2.2 million each week to food banks, which expect to see a surge in people seeking help. Air traffic controllers just received their first paycheck with nothing in it due to the shutdown. Mark Roush with the Controllers Union telling travelers at SeaTac Airport.
We can't expect people that do an honest day's work not get an honest day's pay.
He says it should not be political when the safety of air travelers is at stake. Boeing appears to have stopped bleeding cash for the first time in a long time. Boeing reported $23 billion in revenue for the quarter, a 30% increase over last year. But it took a net loss of over $5 billion, caused in part by 777X delays. The Federal Reserve cut its benchmark interest rate by a 0.25 percentage point today. It's its second consecutive rate cut. The Dow is up 125 points, NASDAQ ahead 137. KIRO News Radio traffic, here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Heather. Global Credit Union has our update. Let's start you with our closure on Tiger Mountain westbound 18 remains closed there at the summit where crews are working on removing the semi that drifted off the road into the trees around 6 this morning. It is stuck. It's going to be there for a while. No estimated time to reopen. Eastbound 18 drivers are stopping at the scene to check things out, and that's got you in about a 1.5 mile solid backup across on the summit. WashDOT recommending seeking alternate routes for westbound travelers. Canyon Park, northbound 405, you've got a solid 2 mile backup on either side of State Route 527. Just past 527, we have State Patrol on the right shoulder with a large chunk of debris. I'm not sure what it is, but drivers are slowing down at the scene. Bellevue to Linwood, 25 minutes. That's a 10-minute delay. Linwood to Seattle, 20 to 25 minutes. It's slow from Northgate to the Ship Canal Bridge. And southbound 405 slows through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton, plan on 15 minutes. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine with highs in the mid-50s. It's 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is 11:34 on this Wednesday morning. This is the Gee and Ursula Show, and it is time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
All right, I had to tag in here, folks. You probably are expecting Chef.
That's Paul
To be
hi,
here.
Paul.
Of
Hi,
course. Paul Holden here hanging out
The one who
because
messed the staples up.
Yeah, well, not today. But YouTube is about to make life a lot harder for kids streaming violent video games. Starting November 17th, the platform's rolling out new rules that age-restrict graphic violence in games, especially scenes that look realistic or focus on torture or civilian attacks. So, if your favorite gamer is playing Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto, which Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out next year, those clips could soon be locked behind an age gate. This policy brings up the question, should kids be allowed to play violent video games, period? Or, at least, should they not be allowed to buy them? I want to start, G, with you here. Should kids be allowed to play violent video games, period?
You know, I was thinking about it, and I really got to really thinking, and I was like, how should I really take on? Hell to the no, come on, hell no. No.
Hell no, they shouldn't be allowed to buy violent video games?
No.
Or there should not be these restrictions?
They should not be able to play these games. I love these restrictions. Today, 2025, is not like 2005. It's not like 1995. We have more mass shootings today than ever. This is a different time. Why? Because, well, we're not even going to get into why, but we are in this time right here, don't let these little kids play these games.
You think it adds to the culture that it is one of the reasons why we are seeing an increase in violence altogether.
By the way, it's not the only. There's multiple reasons.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're asking me this question before, when people were on the Grand Theft Auto and all that, but today, shooting games, no.
Okay, I need to ask a few questions, though. What do you consider violent video games? Because if you think about it, there are games that are geared toward much younger ages, and you can say, well,
is
they're
playing
showing
Madden
some
a violent
violence.
game?
Don't pull a chef right now. Don't even pull a chef right now.
But I'm also a person that speaks from experience. I have been around and played violent video games my entire life, and I would argue that out of all the media that I have consumed, video games are the least likely for me to associate that with the real world, where I think you see so many more videos and so many more movies and so many things where it's real people with prosthetics or anything that are shown real death, basically. And there's videos on the internet that show real death. True. I mean, there's a lot more worse media out there. And there's nothing I've never, and I have a lot of friends that play violent video games. No, I've never seen personally that increase of violent tendencies, the want to be violent, or oh, that's so cool, I need to go do that.
Right.
You get to go do it in the virtual world.
And I think that is because you are who you are and the people you hang out are like how they are. We just don't know that is great for the masses. And I think there is, to your point, G, some desensitization when it comes to violence, not just on video games, but in media in general.
Right.
But I say this, it's a lot easier for me as a parent today to say, yeah, I want these filters, or I want this gate to stop young people, when I am that mom that also did get Grand Theft Auto before my kids were out of the house.
Yeah,
right? I mean, I'm like, what a hypocrite.
So we're just not. Here's my thing. So we're not going to stop anything. You know that we're not doing nothing about the guns. You know that there's nothing that's going to be done. As a matter of fact, the most we'll get is thoughts and prayers. We just gotta go do nothing.
No, I just said nothing. I agree with you. I'm all for I'm okay with putting the filtering and the gatekeeping. But where does it start?
Gotta start somewhere. Start with these little kids.
But there's been a lot of studies that have been shown that these don't necessarily relate. They're weak at best. But the follow. So should they be allowed to buy them at all? Is probably no, but being allowed to play, I like the systems that's in place that the ESRB does, that everyone, teen, mature, and adults only. I mean, that hardly ever happens. But I don't necessarily think that I've become a more violent person.
I can assure everybody that you're not. You are one of the most. You're like a teddy bear.
You were saying Paul and the people he hangs with. What kind of people does he hang with?
Well, you keep calling them nerds. Yeah, but in a good, loving way, you're told. I'm told. I keep asking, does Paul like to be called a nerd?
I wear the label proudly.
Okay.
I know who I am.
But,
all right,
exactly. Okay,
we got the next one here. All right, dictionary.com has announced, and I know Sully's going to love this, it's chosen 6'7", pronounced 6'7", not 67, as its 2025 word of the year. 6'7" is an ambiguous slang term made popular by Gen Alpha on social media and in schools and friends groups across the country. Its pervasiveness is what stuck out to the team selecting the word of the year. It's so widespread and annoying that some schools are banning it. This is what we got to start talking about banning. We got to be getting this crazy. I mean, hear what these kids. I feel like I've finally turned the corner of not relating to the youth anymore.
Okay, wait.
What are we doing
Were
here?
you about to say you're feeling old?
Yes, but I don't like to say that.
But he looked at me. I was like, no, I'm not going there.
I understand. But it's like, this is the stuff that I see. These trends, these things, these are the things that drive me nuts more than video games.
I love it.
Until today, did you ever hear 6'7"?
Yes. I just haven't incorporated it on the show.
Today you used it a bunch.
I did it a bunch. Yeah. It's 6'7". You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I got to give it to UW, University of Washington. They scored a touchdown, and they hit him with a 6'7".
The whole section.
Yeah, I love this.
So again, what is the meaning of 6'7"?
I mean, it could be 6'7".
Meh.
How was the show today? It's 6'7". You know what I'm saying? Like, no, there's really no meaning. It's just fun. And
so
by
then
the way,
dictionary.com thinks that's the word of the year?
Yeah.
A word that I've not even heard of until today? And by the way, it's not one word, it's two.
Hold on. For all of y'all young kids that might listen to the show, don't let your mama and daddy act like they didn't do things that was annoying. You guys remember back in the day? Watch this. What's that?
Oh, no. Oh, God, no.
You guys remember that stuff? Do not let mom and dad act like they didn't say and do dumb stuff that was trendy and our parents didn't look at us. So, 6'7", all you want.
I'm still getting used to the phrase, that's lit. I think that was like 2007.
Yeah, that one's run its course for
Maybe
sure.
06, 07.
Yeah, something like that.
I think dictionary.com is just trying to stay relevant.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
When I get ready to work tomorrow night, I'm definitely gonna rock in 6'7" when I'm auctioneering. Come on now. 6'7". Thanks, Paul.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
All right. Hey, coming up next, text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's Words to Live By. Gee Ursula.
Your favorite Seahawks gear? Check. Face paint? Check. The Mike McDonald preview on KIRO Newsradio? Check.
We want to win the game.
Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald joins the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, in the final interview before every Seahawks game. Friday mornings, the Mike McDonald Preview, only on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of the guys' spirit.
This is where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
The leaves are changing, and so are the markets. But unlike trees, your money just doesn't grow on its own. So don't let your retirement be the scary part of this fall. My friends at Trajan Wealth can take the fear out of financial planning. They are fiduciary advisors, and they will create tailored strategies for you and all investors with $500,000 or more, helping you protect what you've earned and grow what you've built. They're going to learn your goals, your risk tolerance, and your timeline, and then they will build a plan that actually fits your life. So while others are carving pumpkins, you'll be carving out peace of mind. And isn't that what we all want? Call Trajan Wealth today. That's TRAJAN, Trajan Wealth at 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300, or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
You're miracle workers.
Don't know about that.
My drain was clogged.
Right.
You came in a jiffy.
And got right to work?
Now it's clear.
It's what we do.
Like I said, you're miracle workers.
Actually, we're plumbers.
Apollo plumbers.
You want to see some real miracle workers?
Huh?
Just take a look at Seattle Children's.
Sure.
They're all hope, care, and cure.
All true.
And together, we can help them.
How so?
Your service fee?
Yeah?
Apollo Plumbing is donating it.
To benefit Seattle Children's Hospital.
We're donating all our service fees.
All month.
To help Seattle Children's provide outstanding care and support research.
And ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
That's the goal.
Gotta love that.
Gotta love the work they do at Seattle Children's.
So, I call, you come.
Apollo donates your service fee. All our service fees.
All month?
All the way to $20,000.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
Always ready, right now.
You really are miracle workers.
Aren't we all?
Maybe so.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Carter Subaru, Seattle's only Subaru dealership, has the largest selection of Subarus in our state. For a limited time, you can get the 2025 Subaru Outback for 0.9% financing for 60 months. With over 100 Outbacks to choose from, you're going to find the exact color and trim you've been looking for. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized costs. See dealer for details. Valid through 10/31/25.
One day, the words on the page blur. You hold the menu a little farther away. It's subtle until it's not. At Near and Far Vision Partners, we help you see clearly, near, far, and in between. Expert surgeons, advanced technology, sharper focus for every moment. Schedule your complimentary consultation at nearandfarvision.com or call 425-900-2414. Near and Far Vision Partners in Bothell.
Ooh, hey, remember those yodelers we met in the Alps? I wired them euros from the bank and they sent me their yodels in a can.
You wired money for canned yodels? That is so dumb. Banks are slow, and they hide fees and overseas transfers and exchange rates.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
If you're gonna send money to Europe, just use Wise. Wise is super fast and never hides fees.
Smart. You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Hey, Brock Heward here. Taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge could save your family a lot of money. It saved us thousands. First Mark works for you. Search in the carriers for lower rates and better coverage. If that sounds smart, go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Appreciate all you all hanging around. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Time to get to these old text messages right now. Ursula, you want to start us off?
Sure. We were talking about $20 lunches and how that's become the norm. And is there anything we can do to fight back? You know, our friend Layla owns a restaurant in downtown Seattle, and she says, I buy a box of lettuce today for $80. It used to be $30. A 40-pound box of chicken used to cost $55. Now it's anywhere between $85 and $110. Having a restaurant right now is a nightmare. And remember, my menu prices cannot go up and down every day, but the prices of the goods do.
Yeah. SNAP benefits will lapse on Saturday if nothing happens. 360 says, I have no income and I go to the food bank once a week. That's all I'm allowed to go. That's all I'm allowed to go there. In my mind, letting SNAP funds lapse.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, maybe we won't go there, but it's especially cruel. Yeah. And then 208 said, oh, no, we already read that
Mike
one.
Consultant.
Mike Consultant said, growing up poor, we were on the old school food stamps back when they were actual paper stamps. My father did the best he could, supporting a family of 5 on a janitor's wage. After paying the bills, we had about $80 every 2 weeks for food. I walked and took the bus countless times to food banks, getting groceries for my mom and sisters. I just wish people understood there should be no shame in doing what you have to do to take care of your family.
What, Ursula, before we move on, why is it shame because of ignorance, or is it shame, people are putting out shame out there because of hate? Which one do you think it's more of?
I think there's just a lot of things. Or people will truly believe that they see one person who they deem has more than they do, and they're working hard, and this person is lazy, so they assume that that is the story for all. And then there are people who put out crappy information to stoke more hate, knowing that it's going to help them become richer. And then, I mean, it's a whole myriad of things, as you know. But I would feel very confident in saying the vast majority of people who are on SNAP wish they weren't.
You want to know the crazy part? I put a post up yesterday, and I was thinking about my mama Scott, which is my grandmother, my dad's mom. And I was thinking, for all of the people that are saying the hateful things centered around this SNAP discussion, my mama Scott was on food stamps. And even though you would say me, if you were to say mean things and she were here today, she would still feed you. That's the crazy part. Like, she would still feed you and would eat less for you to eat. A family is suing City of Seattle after the teen's son fell off one of the towers at Gasworks Park. Nick in the 206 says, we live in a litigious society. Litigious society. Yeah. It's not that Americans love suing or that this family is necessarily trying to make a buck. It's the most effective mechanism that exists for the family to ensure the next dumb kid doesn't kill himself through ignorance.
Dawn in the 206 says gasworks structures are behind fences and have always had warning signage. It is sad when people ignore these signs and hurt themselves. In the same way as people climbing into cages at zoos or ignoring signs to not walk on the freeway. But these are choices. The saddest thing is these 3 deaths were accompanied by friends who could have intervened and kept them off those structures. Should they be sued as well? I will say that the response to that, there was no one thinking that it was a good idea to file a lawsuit.
Yeah.
The other thing is the attorney who's doing the lawsuit is doing it pro bono, so she seems to think that she will have a very good case. So we'll be watching that one for sure. Our conversation about violent video games and whether kids should be able to play them, Carrie and Bonnie Lake says, you know what's even worse for desensitization than violent video games? The silly phone ones with the fake single mom and baby out in the snow. Help these poor imaginary people. Don't let them starve or freeze to death. Except then all the save your neighbor's energy goes into your screen, and then you don't think about it anymore because you already did that. I didn't even know that was a video game.
Neither did I. All right, Ursula, it's now time for your good old words to live by. What we got?
You know, I can't say enough about compassion and the importance of showing compassion. This is a quote from Mark Twain, which is, kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. You can never lose with kindness.
425. Oh, Nick, what do you got there, brother?
Well, $20 lunches can be fine once in a while, but it wasn't long ago when only 5 was back in style. And although that 5 is gone and 20 feels a bit too foul, there's a new word of the year with 6-7 now on the prowl. Though there isn't any rhyme or reason for the term or phrase, you'll be sure to hear it, say 6 or 7 times a day. I'll give the word of the year rating a 6 out of 7. It's pretty good.
But it's got to be together, 6-7.
6-7, yeah. That's the proper.
Again, I never heard about it until today.
253 texted in and says, yeah, what about the people doing the Macarena?
Oh, remember that?
Yeah.
You know where you'll still see it?
Somebody's still doing it today. At wedding receptions.
And cruises.
Or the conga line? Come on now.
Okay, the conga line is so fun.
Oh,
yeah. Still fun.
That sounds dangerous. All right, Ursula. Good stuff today.
We're not going to see you tomorrow.
No.
But we'll
see you on Friday. See you on Friday on Fresh Fridays.
I'll be here tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Ursula.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
You too, man.
Hey, the Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Stick around. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Top of the hour news, Heather was doing the Mpox story, and I said, what's Mpox?
The Jake and Spike Show.
I remember when the transition happened because the word monkeypox was deemed insulting.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Who is it insulting to?
Monkeys.
Anytime a monkey heard you say monkeypox, they just kind of side-eyed you doing, hey, what are you talking about?
It's a show of respect.
Those primates were so sensitive. Pardon me, monkeys.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feel.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. The John Curley Show.
I can't wait till I get a little older, be the really crotchety old guy, getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Your best source for local news, KIRO News Radio.